So DJI just released the Neo 2, beginner-friendly drone with gesture controls and the same camera as the Neo 1. However, there's some distinct hardware differences such as obstacle avoidance and gesture control. This drone has been amazing, but life just took me by surprise and I've been having to focus on my work, so I had to hang up the drone. My usual 9 to 5 makes me focus on completely looking at client deliverables and focusing day in, day out, focusing on color grades, curves, and other aspects. But I've really been missing going out and getting active and getting shots like these. However, that voice of adventure has been calling me. And I've been wanting to go back and enjoy life the way I used to. So I went out.
Follow.
Skiing follow, cycling follow.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the first minute and a half of the Neo 2 review. DJI have released this drone and it's been quite a while since this drone has come out, but like I said it before in the video, there's been a lot of procrastination. I've been working my 9 to 5 and the weather's not been so good. I've not been able to find the time to do what I really want to do with the videos, such as travel around the UK and capture some really diverse landscapes, but here we go. I just thought I'd do a talking head video and get this out of the way. So my initial thoughts were this drone was quite gimmicky coming from the Neo 1, and for what it's worth, this drone is aimed towards beginners, solo creatives and people who are looking to get into FPV. And while I've not been able to actually test the FPV mode out because they've made the RC2 and the Goggles Integra obsolete, and those are my workhorses when it comes to FPV, I've not been able to accurately get a feel on it and see how it is, but I can comment on everything else. From the usability, it's actually very easy to use. You've got the LED screen on the front, you're able to see what is actually happening this time around rather than relying on the voice mode that the Neo 1 had. And if you're like me, you end up forgetting and you'll have to cycle through that whole process again, and that's a bit long, it's a bit tiring on your mentals, and you kind of just want to get things done the first time. And two, you can actually control it with your phone now, and that's quite handy. It's quite you're not as precise as you'd like to be with the normal standard remote controller, but in a pinch it'll get you the shots that you need. And in terms of the follow modes, it's actually really handy. However, I found that this drone doesn't perform very well under windy conditions, and I'm not sure what's been going on in the UK so far, but it's been very windy, and when I've been trying to take it out, especially for those skate shots, it's actually just disconnected and stopped the propellers, disarmed and crashed on the floor. And while I'm on a private road where I live, if I was on a main road, which I'd never do, that is quite a problem. And if you're a skier as well, that is quite a problem. If the drone disarms and you're skiing, that's in the snow, you're pretty much in trouble, and you'll be using DJI Care Refresh, I believe. It's very lightweight, compact, it's a bit big, it doesn't fit in your pocket, but if you've got a fanny pack or anything like that, that will do the job, and I actually really like it. What really blew me away is the obstacle avoidance, and the obstacle avoidance is actually really good. I opened up a video now, and this actually blew my socks off. It was actually able to detect the branches in the forest, which I sort of call a gauntlet, which I took from another YouTuber. He coined that phrase, I believe. I'll put the name of the YouTuber in the description, but that's actually very handy if you're going through a forest or whatever, or a jungle, and you can actually rely on it to capture the shot. And yeah, it's very lightweight, it's pretty good, very gimmicky though, I believe. I've had this for quite a while now, I've been creating content with it, and I've never once thought, let me actually use the Neo 2 to capture some behind the scenes. I usually just use my camera because I have a certain look that I want to get now, and this drone just doesn't really capture what I'm looking for. I'm trying to go for the more clean, sort of professional look. I'm working my way up to that now, but you know, for anyone else that's outside of the goals that I'm trying to strive towards, this is great. What else is there? So it's got the same camera as the Neo 1. However, there's some hardware upgrades, which means we get 4K 100, 4K 60, 4K 30, and you're able to record all of that on the internal storage, which is I think around 49 gigabytes, which is a lot actually for a drone of this size. You actually won't fill that out while you're out and about on the streets on your adventures, because the battery life is about 12 minutes. So if you are getting 50 gigabytes of footage in about 12 times 3, because that's the creator prop combo, that's 36, then I don't know what you're doing, but you're really getting some really good content. So aside from that, quite handy. The gesture control is pretty good. I've used it many times. I thought that the gesture control would place the drone where you want it to, and it would stay on that side of the subject tracking and track you from that side. However, it doesn't. I found that with the cycling, I put it onto my right side and the drone would move and come straight behind me, which is quite annoying, especially if you're trying to get those side tracking shots as well. And it being tailored towards, or even being marketed as a self-flying kind of second videographer, that's not what you want. So aside from that, very quick review. Didn't want to put too much time into the Neo 2 because, like I said, a very beginner drone. DJI have been putting out a lot of beginner drones, and I feel like there's a lot of paralysis by analysis, as there's just so much to choose from. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I was aiming to take it back, send it back to Amazon, but I ended up keeping it. Hopefully on my next adventures I'll be able to use it and update you all on it. I wonder, have you guys purchased this? What are your thoughts on it? And let's have a discussion in the comments. Also, I'd like to thank you all for 100 subscribers. It's actually the most amount of subscribers I've ever got on a YouTube channel, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you next time.